Hey, what's up guys? My name is Derek and today I'm going to provide some options on how to tune your acoustic guitar. So guys, to me, one of the most important things when learning guitar or even as a seasoned guitar player is making sure that your guitar is always in tune. It's going to make your guitar sound better. The more you become accustomed to playing with a guitar that's always in tune, the more you'll become sensitive and develop an ear to recognize when it's not in tune. So how do you do that? So there's a few things that I think, or a few tools that I think are really helpful to make sure that your guitar is in tune. One thing really quick, if you're an absolute beginner and you are picking up a guitar that maybe has been laying in the corner of your house for a couple weeks, a couple months, maybe even a couple years, one thing that can be tough using tuners is that if the guitar is completely out of tune, then it's gonna be tough to kind of use some of these options. A guitar can fall in and out of tune based on the quality of the guitar and some of the climate conditions that it's been put through. Because of the wood and the strings expanding and contracting depending on climate, your guitar could be severely out of tune. If that's the case, or if you're a beginner and you've never tuned a guitar before, one of the things I recommend doing is just taking your guitar to maybe a friend that plays guitar or even your local music shop and ask them to tune your guitar, just so that you're in the ballpark, and it's gonna make tuning your guitar a lot easier using the apps and the devices that we'll go over. So one of the first things you need to know when tuning your guitar is which note each string needs to be on the guitar. So if you are going to tune your guitar to standard tuning, which is what 98% of people that play guitar will tune their guitar to, the string names from top to bottom are E, A, D, G, B, E. There's a few ways you can memorize that. I've heard different mnemonics over the years. One is Eddie ate dynamite, goodbye Eddie. I've heard eat all day, get big easy. So whatever you gotta do to memorize the notes of each string, it's gonna get you that much better at tuning your guitar. Well, the first thing I wanna do is go over some of the apps that I use. So let me show you one of the apps that I use. I downloaded this app a few years ago. I think I maybe paid $2 or $3 for it, but it's called Guitune. And I like this app because you can see they have a lot of options for different tunings in here. For the sake of this video, we're going to tune our guitar just to standard tuning. The top E string, the 6th string, needs to be an E. And you can see the reason I like this app is there's a visual and there's an audible example. So if I click on this box here, it tells me where my string should be. And then visually I can see it on there as well. So you can see the red bar is where my string is currently and the green bars are where it needs to be. So right now, my low E string, the 6th string, is flat. So I need to raise it. To do that, I'm going to turn it counterclockwise to raise the string until I get into those green bars. So that one looks pretty good. Once I do that, then I'll go to the next string, the A string. So same thing with this one, my string is a little flat, so I'll tune it counterclockwise until it's in the green bars. So that one looks good now too. So another solid option that I like is an app called Guitartuna. This one's very similar. It has very good visual references. And you can see when you have the string in tune, it gives you that little notification that you are all set. So let's go down to my D string. So it's saying that my D string is too high or sharp. So I'm going to turn it clockwise to bring it down. And then I'll just keep going each string. So then I'll go to the G string. So that one's too low, so I need to raise it. My mom just texted me. So I'm tuning it clockwise now, the G string clockwise to bring it up. So that one's good. Next is the B string. So that one's also too low. That one's good, and then the E string. And that one's too high. So I'm going counterclockwise. One thing, guys, too, is when you're tuning your guitar, make sure you go super slow when you're doing it. You don't want to do any sudden movements because that could cause a string to snap. So if you're an absolute beginner, go super slow, take your time, and I think those apps are really solid for beginners because it shows you visually where your string is at relative to where it needs to be. Again, sometimes it can be tough if your guitar is really out of tune. Those apps will kind of bug out and they won't work properly. So make sure that you're at least somewhat in tune. So the other thing you can use, guys, are clip-on tuners. Now, I don't have any clip-on tuners here, but I did when I was first learning guitar on YouTube. I used the Snark tuner, and so those tuners just go onto the headstock of your guitar. You clip them on, and it's kind of the same thing. It'll tell you if the string is too sharp or too flat. They're not as visual as the app, so I like the app more for beginners, but I think the clip-on tuners are going to be a little more accurate. So you have the Snark and you have the Polytune. I've never used the Polytune, but I've heard really good things about it. I've been seeing more and more people using that one versus the Snark. Both of those would be solid options as well. So what I use mostly, since I play gigs at restaurants and bars and other places, I actually have a floor tuner. It's the Boss TU3 that plugs directly into my guitar. So sometimes if you're in a noisy environment, those apps and the clip-on tuners will have a tough time picking up the sound from the guitar. Let me show you guys really quick what I use. This is the Boss TU3. You can see it's a floor tuner here. This will plug directly into the output of my guitar. So let me show you that quickly. So the output of my guitar is right there. That is what I use to tune my guitar most of the time, but it is a more expensive option and it's not necessary for someone that's a beginner. If I was a beginner, again, I would just use the two apps that I mentioned or buy one of those clip-on tuners for your guitar. So I hope that was helpful, guys. If you have any questions or comments, please put them in the comment section below. I'm going to be posting more videos about learning guitar on YouTube here shortly. So if you're not subscribed yet, please consider doing so, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.